Why the F does it feel like every finance bro on the internet is out here flexing their 100K savings while you can't even save $100 without your bank sending you that low balance notification? Let's be real. Saving your first 100K feels like trying to do push-ups in quicksand. Every month you say, this is the one, then your car breaks down, your rent jumps, your friend's wedding shows up, and boom, you're broke as F again. But here's the wild part. Most millionaires didn't start from a rich family, or win the lottery, or sell pictures of their feet online. They started with one goal: stack that first 100K, because that's the level where money stops being something you chase and starts chasing you. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to hit that number fast, even if you're starting from zero, working a 9-to-5, and living off microwave noodles. Welcome to Peter Finance, the channel that teaches you money without the fake smiles or the just skip your Starbucks nonsense. Here, we use math, real stats, and sarcasm to slap the truth into your wallet. Now, before we go further, let's be honest. You've probably watched a ton of videos with titles like, How I Saved 100K by 25, and the guy in the thumbnail looks like he eats quinoa for breakfast and farts confidence. Cool story, Chad. But let's do it the realistic way. No, you don't need to sell your soul to hustle culture. You don't need to trade crypto in your sleep. And no, Karen, you don't need to cancel every fun thing in your life. You just need a plan that actually works. One built on real math, not motivation quotes from Instagram. Now, before we start tearing into this, hit that subscribe button and join the people who actually understand their money. The algorithm is allergic to broke energy, so let's fix that. Smash that like button like it's your debt collector calling again. And hey, download this video when we're done, because we're going to run through a ton of calculations, step-by-step breakdowns, and strategies that'll flip your savings game upside down. So keep this saved to rewatch whenever your brain forgets what compound interest means. All right, so here's the deal. The first 100K isn't just a number. It's a mindset shift. It's the part where you go from, I can't save, to, wait, my money's making more money? The reason this milestone matters isn't because it makes you rich, it's because it puts you in the top 15% of savers in your age group, according to data from the Federal Reserve's Survey of Consumer Finances. That's right, most people don't even get close. The average American under 35 has less than $12,000 in savings. That's it. 12 grand, which means if you can hit 100K, you're not just ahead, you're basically a money alien. But here's the problem. Most people are financial toddlers. They think saving is about cutting expenses, not building systems. They think investing is too risky, but somehow playing the lottery isn't. And worst of all, they give up before the compounding kicks in. Today, we're fixing all that. We'll break it down step by step. How much to save monthly, where to park your money, how to make it grow while you sleep, and how to trick your brain into not touching it. By the end of this, you'll have a plan that doesn't just sound good on paper, it actually works in real life. So grab your notebook or your notes app if you're fancy, and let's build the roadmap to your first 6 figures. Because the truth is, the first 100K is hard. It's brutal. It's unfair. But once you get there, the next 100K comes faster, then faster, and suddenly you're not working for money, money's working for you. Welcome to the start of that journey. Let's go. All right, let's start with the part no one likes to talk about. Why saving your first 100K feels like trying to fill a bucket with holes. Because let's be honest, it's not that you don't make money. You make plenty, but somehow that money disappears faster than a politician's promise after Election Day. Here's what usually happens. You get your paycheck, you feel rich for 48 hours, you pay rent, buy groceries, maybe grab a few I deserve this meals, and poof, gone. Then you're counting down the days till payday again like it's Christmas morning. Sound familiar? Yeah. Welcome to the paycheck hamster wheel. Now, here's the reality check. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reports that the average American household spends about $72,967 a year. That's around $6,080 per month. So, let's say you're earning around $70K a year. After taxes, that's roughly $4,600 take home per month. Out of that, $1,500 to $2,000 goes to rent or mortgage, $800 to food, $400 to $600 to transportation, $300 to $400 to utilities, Wi-Fi, subscriptions, and oops charges, and suddenly you're left with $500 if you're lucky. That's your savings potential. And that, my friend, is where most people screw it up. Because instead of saving it, they think, oh, I'll just treat myself a little this month. Next thing you know, you're 3 drinks deep at happy hour, tipping like a billionaire, and waking up to a notification that says your balance is insufficient. Here's the brutal truth. Your spending habits aren't random. They're designed. Corporations have entire teams studying your psychology just to make sure you stay broke. That buy now, pay later button, that's not convenience. That's a trap. That limited time offer email you got at 2 a.m., that's them whispering, come on, just one more swipe, you deserve it. And while you're falling for it, your bank account's looking like a ghost town. Now, let's talk lifestyle inflation, the silent killer of savings. You start making more money, and instead of saving it, you upgrade your life like you just won the lottery. New phone, new clothes, better apartment, more subscriptions, all because I can afford it now. Congratulations, you're now on what I call the fancy broke plan. You look rich, but your bank account's crying in the shower. According to the Federal Reserve, over 58% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck. And yes, that includes people earning over $100,000 a year. So no, your income isn't always the problem, your spending blueprint is. But don't get it twisted, saving your first 100K isn't about living like a monk or surviving on ramen. It's about restructuring your money so it works automatically, without you micromanaging every cent. Because discipline isn't about being perfect, it's about building systems so you don't need to rely on motivation. Motivation dies faster than your New Year's resolution. That's why the people who actually hit 100K fast don't just save money, they set traps for their future selves. They make it harder to waste and easier to grow. They automate savings, they separate their spending accounts, they make investing the default, not the exception. And yeah, they still enjoy life, they just do it strategically. They budget for it instead of praying their debit card doesn't decline at brunch. Because here's the thing, saving money doesn't mean killing fun. It means buying freedom later. You can't YOLO forever. At some point, you either make your money work for you, or you end up working until your knees give out. So before we move into the math breakdown, I want you to remember this. Your first 100K isn't earned by luck. It's engineered. Every dollar you save is a brick. Every brick builds the wall that separates you from financial panic. And when you stack enough of those bricks, that wall turns into a fortress. The kind where bills hit your inbox and you just laugh, pay them, and go back to sleep. Now, let's get tactical. Let's talk numbers. Because you can't save your way to 100K on good vibes and budgeting apps. You need math that actually adds up, and systems that force results. All right, let's break this thing down mathematically. Because if you don't know your numbers, you're just guessing your way through life. And that's exactly how you end up wondering where your paycheck went every month. So let's say your goal is 100K. Sounds intimidating, right? But let's slice it up like pizza. If you save $1,667 per month, that's $20,000 a year. In 5 years, boom, you've hit 100K. But maybe you're thinking, Peter, bro, I don't have $1,600 lying around each month. Fair. So let's look at it another way. If you can only save $833 a month, that's about $10,000 a year. That means you'll hit 100K in 10 years without even accounting for interest. And here's where compound growth comes in to slap you with a reality check. If you invest that $833 per month into something that earns, say, 7% annually, that's roughly the historical return of the S&P 500, according to data from the Federal Reserve and Morningstar. You'll hit 100K in about 7.5 years instead of 10. That's 2.5 years shaved off, all because you let your money do the push-ups instead of doing them yourself. But let's say you're a savage. You start saving $1,000 a month, invest it, and keep doing it consistently. you'll hit that six-figure mark in about 6 years flat. And if you start younger, that's even better. Every dollar you invest in your 20s is worth roughly 3 to 4x what it would be if you started in your 30s. Time is your biggest flex here. But here's the kicker. Most people don't fail because of math. They fail because of mindset. They think 100K is too far, and because it feels far, they don't even start. But every dollar saved is literally progress toward it. If you can save $10 a day, that's $300 a month. That's $3,600 a year. Invest that for 15 years at 7%, and boom, you're sitting on over 100K. That's literally the cost of skipping one overpriced takeout meal per day. So no, you don't need a huge income. You just need consistency and compounding. Now, let's talk where to park that cash, because keeping it in a savings account is like locking a lion in a cage and feeding it tofu. It doesn't grow. It just sits there dying slowly from inflation. Let's break it into layers. 1. Emergency fund. 3 to 6 months of expenses. This is your financial shield. You keep it in a high-yield savings account, ideally one paying around 4 to 5% APY. Check official data from NerdWallet and the Federal Reserve for current rates. This isn't for growth, it's for survival. 2. Growth money. Investing zone. This is where the real magic happens. Index funds and ETFs. These are your bread and butter. S&P 500, total market index, or target date funds. Boring? Consistent? Proven. If you toss $500 to $1,000 monthly into one of these and reinvest dividends, you're playing the same game the rich play, just at your scale. And 3, optional hustle fund, extra income stream. If you've got some extra risk tolerance, this is where you can experiment. Start a side hustle, learn a skill that pays more, or invest in yourself through education. Because guess what? The fastest way to save 100K isn't cutting coffee, it's increasing your income. You can only cut so much, but you can earn infinitely. Now, let's do a quick income reality check. According to the Census Bureau, in 2024, the median income was around $59,000. After taxes, that's roughly $4,000 to $4,300 per month. If you can live off $3,000, that leaves you with $1,000 to save or invest. That's the golden range, 25% of your income going toward growth. But if you can't, that's fine. Start smaller. Automate $100 to $200 per month. The amount doesn't matter. The habit does. And that's the biggest secret. Automate your savings before you see it. Because if you wait until the end of the month to save whatever's left, you'll have nothing left. You've got to treat your savings like a bill that future you sends to present you every payday. Set up automatic transfers. Make it invisible. Let your money disappear before you can emotionally spend it on Uber Eats and dopamine. Now, I know what some of you are thinking. Peter, this all sounds great, but my expenses are too high. All right, fair. Then your problem isn't savings. It's income optimization. And no, I don't mean picking up 3 more side hustles like a sleep-deprived hamster. I mean getting paid more for what you already do. Negotiate your salary. Data from PayScale shows that over 70% of people who ask for a raise actually get one. Learn new skills, certifications, freelance gigs, online work, whatever builds leverage. Because here's the harsh truth. You can't budget your way out of poverty. You have to earn your way out. Savings is the foundation. Earning more is the acceleration. You need both to hit that 100K faster. Now, once your income starts growing, here's where most people screw it up. They let their lifestyle grow with it. Don't do that. Keep your expenses flat while your income rises. That difference, that's your wealth gap, and that's what makes you rich. If you make $5,000 a month and spend $4,800, you're broke. If you make $5,000 a month and spend $3,000, you're building wealth faster than 90% of people around you. And that's exactly how people go from struggling to stacking 6 figures. Not by being smarter, but by being more consistent. Now, let's talk about the psychology of saving, because your brain is your biggest enemy in this game. Your brain hates delayed gratification. It wants the hit now. That's why Amazon's Buy Now button exists. They literally built it to short-circuit your patience. So how do we outsmart that? Simple. You hack your dopamine. Every time you hit a new milestone, 1K, 5K, 10K, celebrate it. Not with spending, but with a small win. Treat yourself to a nice dinner, a day off. Whatever reminds you, I'm making progress. Because money management isn't just math, it's emotional warfare. And here's another truth bomb. If you can manage $1,000 well, you can manage $100,000. If you can't handle small money, big money will destroy you. You ever seen someone win the lottery and go broke in 2 years? Exactly. That's why this process matters. Because while you're stacking that first 100K, you're also building the habits, the systems, and the emotional control that'll protect your next million. And speaking of protection, once you start saving real money, you've got to guard it like a jealous dragon. Avoid lifestyle traps. Avoid friends who drain your wallet. And for the love of common sense, stop chasing quick money schemes. Crypto pumps, day trading, meme stocks. Sure, you can make money. But if you don't understand what you're doing, you'll lose it faster than you made it. The boring stuff builds wealth. The flashy stuff burns it. Now, here's the motivational punchline. That 100K goal isn't just about money. It's about control. Control over your time, your stress, and your choices. Because once you hit that number, you start realizing something powerful. You're no longer scared of emergencies or bills or job losses. You've bought yourself freedom. And once you taste that freedom, you'll never want to go back. So if you're serious about hitting that 100K fast, start today. Not tomorrow, not when things calm down. Today. Because every day you delay is another day you feed the system instead of escaping it. And before you click away, do yourself a favor. Download this video. Seriously, save it to your phone or laptop. Because you're going to forget 70% of what you heard tomorrow. That's how the brain works. But if you download it, you can rewatch the parts with the math, the strategy, or that one insult that hit too close to home. You'll start catching new gems each time. And before you know it, you'll have your own financial playbook sitting right there on your device. So don't just watch this once and move on. Rewatch it, write notes, make a plan. Because the people who actually change their financial lives don't just consume information, they apply it. You want to hit 100K fast? Start acting like the version of you who already has it. That version isn't scrolling aimlessly, comparing lives, or blaming the system. That version is calculating, executing, and stacking. So let's wrap this up. Here's your blueprint to saving your first 100K fast. Build a system, not motivation. Automate your savings. Invest your money so it compounds. Keep your expenses flat while your income rises. Celebrate milestones and protect your mindset. You follow those 5 steps, and I promise, your first 100K won't be a dream. It'll be an eventuality. Because at some point, the grind stops feeling like punishment and starts feeling like progress. And when that happens, when your bank balance hits that 6-figure mark, you'll realize it wasn't luck. It was strategy. So subscribe, download this video, share it with someone who still thinks saving is impossible. And I'll see you in the next one where we turn that 100K into a lifetime of passive income. This is Peter Finance signing out, reminding you that money doesn't respect feelings. It respects discipline. Now get out there and start stacking before your next treat yourself turns into another broke month. Peace.